Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We're planning on doing a multi-part series on applying to college, and this is going to be the first video. So we're going to be talking about how to apply with a common application and also what the personal statement is all about.
Except the UC system. The UC system in California, they don't use the Common App and they have a completely separate application. So it kind of mirrors the Common App in that you fill out your activities and like they have some supplemental essays. It's not one personal, one like big personal statement.
We're just going to explain what the Common App / personal statement is. It's a general application form that you send to most of the colleges you're probably going to be applying to. And it's generally the first impression that colleges are going to receive of you. And the personal statement is the essay within the common application that the colleges will be receiving.
And there's also an activities list that comes with it where you can list up to 10 activities. So that also gives the colleges a glimpse of like what you do outside of your academics.
Everything besides the activity section is pretty self-explanatory in the Common App. It's mostly just filling out personal information. First off, we're going to be talking about how to fill out the activity section.
It's kind of like you kind of like rank them by importance. Like they don't explicitly say it, but like the order that you put in like really matters, because like the more important activities that are a more important part of your profile you put in the beginning. And also they have like different categories. I think, what are the categories?
There's a really big drop-down list of categories. Like there's science activities, clubs,
like sports.
Arts. There's like definitely going to be a category that fits, and even if there isn't, there's one that's just other.
And they're looking for you to like diversify your profile. So like say like you have like a lot of activities from like one category, and then you have only like a couple activities from another category. Like don't try, like even if like those are more important or those like make up a big part of your profile, like try to like spread it out in terms of the type of things you do, because they're not looking for someone who like say like they only do like one type of activity, because they want to see that like you're looking at different fields and you're exploring different things. Like you're volunteering but you also do like academic decathlons, like for example. Like they're looking for your diversified profile because that's the type of people they want.
What I did was I like clustered my activities in terms of like what topic it went under.
I did that too.
So like I prioritized, since I was like a science applicant and I was into studying like human biology, I prioritized science and arts. So I put all my science activities at the top, like my internships, and then I put my art activities and like music, because that was like my most important like extracurricular outside of science. And then I put everything else, like work experience, towards the bottom. I don't think you have to cluster it, but I kind of just did it for readability.
And then for formatting the activities, they're going to ask you to give a description of like any title that you had in that activity, and then also describe the activity. So there's like a really limited character count for that. So don't try to use complete sentences. Like in that area, you want to get as much information out about yourself and that activity as possible. So if you won any awards, like make sure you put those awards. If you were captain, if you were president of the club, make sure you put that. And then you can put like president : and then like do a list of like what your responsibilities were.
Yeah, I recommend not using complete sentences at all. What I did was I used semicolons and then commas within the phrases. I use a lot of action phrases, and I put just like how long I contributed, what I did in that program or activity, and why it was important to me, or like why it helped me grow.
Yeah. And you can like spend less of the word count explaining what the activity is, because like some things might be a little vague, but they're more interested in like the action verbs and like what you actually did. And like two things they're like really looking for is like longevity of like how long you did the activity and how involved you were. So like say like you were a club president, say like you added 50 club members, or you helped like add that, and like they're looking for like numbers and like things to remember, because if you have like really general vague statements, they've probably read that somewhere else, so they're not going to remember you. So like make things that really stand out and like actions that were like really noticeable.
And if you can like quantify anything that you did in the club, that's also really good, because it provides like a concrete way to justify your actions.
Yeah, for example, if you do community service, I would recommend putting like how many hours total you did. Also, try to put things that are actually some substantial commitment for time, because if you put activities that are all like 1 hour a week and you don't do it for that long per year, or you don't have a lot of continuity, or you haven't been doing it for a long time, I don't think it's very useful to put in your application at all. Oh, and a general warning, make sure that your hours add up, because if you put like you do something for like 20 hours a week and you do it for like 7 different activities, like colleges are gonna get suspicious
Like,
that you're
know.
lying. Yeah, so just like common sense, make sure that your activity hours add up and that they're reasonable and you're not over exaggerating. We're gonna be talking about how to actually write the personal statement now. We had college counseling at our school, and what the college counselors recommended was writing your essay before even looking at the prompts or choosing one. Just pick something that interests you, or something that a topic that reveals something interesting or novel about yourself, and then you can match it to a prompt later, because the prompts that they give you for the personal statement are extremely broad, so whatever you write about can definitely fit into one of the questions.
And also, it's more about the essay than like fitting the question. Like, even if you think it doesn't fit the question, if your story is unique and compelling, like, screw the question.
Be wary, like a very common, especially in the Bay Area, topic is like how like the Bay Area is so competitive, and like I'm not like that. That's like a very common topic. So keep in mind when they're reading this, like this is like the main piece of writing that's kind of like defining your application. Like there are supplemental essays, of course, but like the common application is what you send to a lot of colleges. And so like they're looking for like, okay, after I read this, what can this person add to our college or like our student body that will be beneficial in a way that like others who like don't make the application cut can't. So they're looking for something like concrete as well. Like you can show your writing style, but make sure you're also like telling an important story that tells something about yourself, so that the colleges will actually like get something from that and remember you, not just by your story, but like what you'll actually bring to their campus.
Your personal statement should leave you as someone who's identifiable in some way, so that when people are talking about you in like, what's it called? The college like discussion table.
Those scary people sitting at the table deciding your fate.
They're bringing you to the table and they're gonna decide if they want to take you or not, and they want to identify you as like,
do you remember the girl who like did this, or like who was like this, and like you don't want them to be like, oh, do you remember that girl who like won that contest just like everybody else?
Yeah, like, while I kind of do regret writing, or I don't really regret it, but I just thought it was weird that I wrote about this. But I literally wrote about making boba over the summer, so I'm pretty sure they probably refer to me as that girl who talked about boba in her essay. Think of the common application essay as like a first glimpse into your personality, or like a first impression. A lot of people make the analogy that applying to college is like speed dating or something, but it's kind of true that you want to like make sure that not only are you applying to school that you like, but the school has to like you back. At the end of the day, you're looking for a good match for yourself and not just a school to go to that has good academics. Oh yeah, also, even though you're sending the common application to all these colleges and that like it's a general application, you can still change up the personal statement essay that each college receives, which is something that I didn't know. So for example, if you're applying to one college that's like super intellectual and cares a lot about how you think or problem solve, you might want to send a different essay than a different school that is really that really emphasizes like liberal arts and like humanities and stuff like that, and like more introspective thinking.
And like you don't have to completely change your essay, because like one thing I did is like I like changed a couple of paragraphs and wording and like adjectives, but like I didn't necessarily change the story, because like the story is going to be the same, because like you're going to have that one general life experience, but like the way you write it and like what qualities you're trying to you want them to like wean and like them to like know from that story can be different depending on the college, because like one college may be focused on like entrepreneurship more and like new ways of thinking, another one might be interested in like more introspection and like your style of writing more than that. So like you can just like you can manipulate the story as long as you don't change anything. Like you can manipulate your way of writing and how you're presenting yourself in it to match those different colleges.
Also, write about something that you genuinely care about, because like I'm sure you've heard this like multiple times, but don't try to write something that you think the college will like, because for me, like in the end, I really did not like my personal statement, because I think I wrote something that I thought would look good and would be appealing, but I wish I wrote about something that was more personal to me. In your writing, if you're not sincere about it, I think they like colleges can tell. And like in general, if you're reading someone's writing, if like they didn't pour all of their emotions into it, like it's not the same, right? So write about something that you genuinely care about, and like it will pay off, and like your passion will show through your writing. So it doesn't have to fit like the cookie cutter, like, oh, I won these science competitions, I won all these competitions, like look at me, I'm like so accomplished. It can be something really like deep and personal too.
I thought I was gonna have a really good personal statement that I liked and thought was like polished and perfect, but I never really had a personal statement that I was completely happy with, and it was just something that I had to accept.
It's very hard to say that like you'll ever be completely satisfied with a piece of writing, especially because you're gonna get like critics and people who have different things to say, and like I would say like feedback is good, but as long as you limit it to like a close amount of people, because if you get way too much feedback, like your own personal voice will get lost in that, and it's just going to be a bunch of people giving you feedback, and you might not be writing the story that you want to tell. So like my advice is don't get too many counselors, like don't show it to all of your friends, like choose that set of friends or counselors and like limit it as long as you get feedback, but don't like make it so that it's completely not your essay anymore.
And ultimately you want your writing to be something that you're happy with, that like you feel comfortable showing to colleges, and that shows your true self. So like make sure you don't lose that in the feedback and the advice.
Common mistakes, we're just gonna go over some of them. The first one is don't write about someone else. I went through a lot of drafts for my personal statement, and one major problem I had was writing about other people. If you're into like athletics or performing arts, one huge mistake is writing about how you practice really hard for something and you went through the struggle for like a performance or some like sporting event, and then you somehow won or you won some award. Like those are the tackiest essays ever, and they've been done a million times, so like just avoid that topic.
You can talk about what you learned from it and how it made you a better person, but don't be like, oh, I worked so hard and then I like won this award, like fantastic for me. No, you want to talk about yourself and your feelings and how that like transformed you as a person if you go that route.
And don't like be so caught up in the story that you stop talking about yourself, because like they're still looking for introspection, because it's so much easier to write about like an account of a story and the details related to that story and like make a bunch of like flowery descriptions and things like that, but it's so much harder to like pull that thing from yourself and like kind of like recognize like what you're trying to tell them, because it's harder to think about yourself to think about like an experience you had, of course.
Even though it's important to show and not tell, college essays are very, very different from the essays that you write in English class. Like, you're telling a story about yourself, not about an event that happened. Okay, let's go right to left then. What is something that you thought was very
to think of the direction? So like, I started like way earlier than a lot of people, but you like, it's so like you have to go through a bunch of drafts of your Common App. Like don't go through like so many where it's like you don't even know what the story is anymore, but like start in the early summer, because like if you do it like a day or like a week before it's due, like your essay will definitely be something you're not happy with. Like start even like brainstorming during the summer, write like barf drafts. Like that's what like my counselor would call them. Like I wrote like a bunch of barf drafts before I like finally found the story that I wanted to tell. And like although it's kind of tedious, you have a lot of time in the summer. Like, even if you're doing other things and you have a program, because I did a summer program, I did a bunch of programs the summer before senior year, but I still, like, made enough time to, like, brainstorm and write essays. So, like, make a bunch of barf drafts and, like, start really early. I literally started brainstorming for my Common App in June, and, like, I did not finish till, like, October, November, when I had to actually turn it in for my early application. So, like, really make sure that you get all of those drafts down.
Yeah, I made, like, a total of probably, like, 8 drafts.
Write something that makes you happy and that's true to yourself, that you'll be proud of later. Like, don't try to fit a mold, or don't try to do what, like, other people are doing. Just be yourself in your personal statement, because, like, honestly, that's what's unique. That's what's going to pay off.
Yeah, my final takeaway would be just to take risks and write about whatever you want. Like, stay true to yourself. Write about something you like. Like, I really like boba, so I wrote about boba. Like, do what you want, you know? Find your boba. If you made it this far into our video, thank you so much for watching, and we hope you found something useful. And our next video in the series is going to be about
Supplements.
Wait, okay. So the next video in this multi-part series is going to be how to do supplemental essays, art supplements, just supplements in general, and also like what you should include in your resume, or if you should even add a resume. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.
Go start your Common App.